understand that we get one chance, one chance. You will never regret the things that we'll do. 'Cause I wanna drive through the summer night, and when we are old and gray, we'll look back at this summer night, the summer night, the summer night, the summer night, the summer night. Someday we will look back, and our hearts will be whole again. I want to remember all that happened to us. 'Cause I wanna drive through the summer night, and when we are old and gray, we'll look back at this summer night, the summer night, the summer night. The summer night, the summer night, oh, the summer night.
All right, we're going with take 2 on this because my apologies, but we had music behind. So we're going to make sure that we manually get that turned off because we are going to talk about something that can really enhance your audience's attention and engagement. And that is Lottie files, which in and of themselves are a wonderful thing, but now we can actually use them directly inside of Canva. So that's what I'm going to walk you through. Let's get this started. We've all heard and seen and experienced ourselves, right? A little bit of animation can make a huge difference in your audience's attention and engagement. But most people don't have the skill set to create their own animations or the financial reality to be able to have somebody create it for them. And we know that Canva, which we love around here, has a bunch of animation files that are wonderful and very handy to use. But now those options have just gotten even better because in addition to everything Canva offers, we now also can use Lottie files directly from Canva. And what I'm talking about is not having to go to Lottie files to bring them in and then use them, but it's a direct connection. And we're going to talk about what Lottie files are for anybody who is not familiar. So don't worry, stick around. We will cover all of it. But this is just such a efficient and wonderful way to add that little bit extra to your content, your presentations, your social media, all that kind of good stuff, to get that extra attention for free. Did I mention free? Now, yes, there are paid options always in life, but you can 100% use the free options and get exactly what you're looking for and be able to customize them. So let's get into this. You can tell I'm excited. Alrighty. So let's just talk a little bit first about the fact that animations are a way to just grab your audience's attention and to keep their focus, which is really key. It's also a really good way of getting more engagement from them because you've got their attention and they're excited to be watching. But also, it's been found that if there's a little bit of an animation and it is in the right context and is getting their attention for the right reasons, that they're more likely to give you a comment or a thumbs up or a like or whatever. They're also more likely to share it, which helps you get more engagement. So it really makes everything that you do stand out. It helps with the scroll stopper kind of thing where, somebody is scrolling. But if you've got that little extra pop there, it's going to stop them just long enough for their brain to say, I want more, and take a look at really in depth at what you're providing. When I'm talking about Lottie files, that is a very specific approach to these little mini animation type things. They are lightweight. And what that means is when you add them into your project, when you put them into your presentation, your website, your social media, whatever, it's not going to slow down the load time. It's not going to limit people who are on mobile devices or only Mac connections. These are little tiny files that just sit, on top of whatever you're building. Super easy, super fast to load, not a problem. And they are scalable and they are editable. So if a lot of times what I find with Canva is sometimes I'll find an animation that is what I'm looking for, but the color scheme is wrong or there's something else about it that I would prefer to have adjusted, but because of that format, you can't do that. Well, in Lottie files, you have that control. You can go in, you can do an edit. And again, free. This is all free stuff. So you don't have to, worry about that. And it doesn't require you to be a programmer or a designer or whatever. It is really simple to just if you want to just change the colors to match your color palette, or if you want to add or remove a little something from it, it is really, I promise you, super easy. So we'll touch on all of that. The benefits of the fact that it's right there in Canva for us is easy integration, right? You don't have to really think about it. Once you go in and you get yourself set up and you create a Lottie account, connect that to Canva, you're ready to go. It is literally a drag and drop solution. Like I mentioned, you can customize these in ways that you can't do with a lot of other tools for free. The performance is great. They're highly scalable. They will grab attention. There's a wide variety, and it is constantly expanding because Lottie Files has a whole world of people who are constantly submitting new animations, updating them, all that kind of good stuff. Plus, they're adding their own. So it's always fresh. There's always something new to pick. It's not like somebody's going to look at what you're doing and going, oh, that was done in X program. Like, like there's certain elements like you see over and over again because everybody's using the same tools. This removes that because this is a constantly fresh pool that you're pulling from. Yes, I mean, the older stuff will be there for you, but there's always something new to look at. There's always something fresh to go and check out. All right, so we're going to go in. Well, let's first just level set for everybody because, we like to do that around here. So let's take a look at what we're talking about, the tools that we're talking about. Okay, so the first one, if you've been here before, you're already familiar with, and that is Canva. Canva is a free graphic design tool that really the strength of it for most of us is the amazing library of templates. So you don't have to worry, is this going to work? Sorry, let me get that back here. Is this, what do I need to do? What size do I need to make it? I need to make a social post, or looking at the blank sheet and not knowing what to do. Like, this removes all of that because you go in, you say, I want to do an Instagram post, I need it to be square. And then it shows you a whole bunch of templates that are available. And then you can just go ahead and grab one and be ready to go. So plus there's all kinds of other tools in it, and it's a powerhouse for things. But as you can see, there is the free version. And then there's a paid version for general users and a paid user for teams, but you don't have to use that. You can 100% go ahead and work in it for free and use it for free. The same is true for Lottie files. So Lottie files is also a resource that you can go. You do need to go in and create an account, but you can then go ahead and use the stuff that is free. There are premium options in here as well, but you can 100% just use what you get from the free and make that work for you. And there's a couple of things in here I just want to touch on. So this is what we're talking about, right? So if you're using something that's a GIF file, these are all basically doing the same thing, but the size, is 321K. I mean, that's not gigantic, but you get a couple of them and it adds up. But when you get into the Lottie versions of this, the size of them dramatically drops, like 90+%. And that's the file size. You can adjust the image itself to be whatever you want. And the other bonus for that is the fact that it is scalable. So let's see, I think they have a scalable version in here, right? Or do they not? That's okay. Well, I'll show you the scalable. But what I mean by scalable is the fact that you can go in, like, if you're using this image, you didn't like this size, you want it bigger, you want it smaller, you could adjust that and it would totally work that way. The other thing is what I was talking about was the color palettes, right? So we've got this little dancing guy here, but like you wanted to try different color palettes, you can just go ahead and click to see all the different combinations, and you can create your own custom palette. So let's say you want it to be in your color palette, your branding colors, you can go ahead and use that right here. So that's the quick and dirty overall view there. I want to look to see, I just realized I forgot to turn off my extensions. Let's see if I can do that really quick here. Off. Oh, there should be a turn off all. I'll have to submit that. I know that there's still, there we go. These are the ones that need to go away. Only it doesn't really impact anything other than it does make it a little bit distracting on the page. So now that everybody understands we're on the same page, I do, for anybody who's new here, hi, my name is Kathleen. I'm here as your tech coach. Short version of the story is I do software design as my day gig. Technology is also my hobby. So my friends, family, neighbors, they tend to come by and reach out when they have a question, when they're looking for recommendations, when they need help with a problem. And over time, they have recommended me to their friends, family, neighbors, and coworkers, which made it very clear to me that not everybody has somebody to talk to about this kind of stuff. So hello, that's why I'm here. We're here every Friday, 8 p.m. You are more than welcome to come and join live if you'd like, or if you are watching this on a replay, that's cool too. Just go ahead and put whatever questions or comments you have in the comments wherever you're watching, and I do go through and I get caught up on those. Plus, you could reach out to me here at yourtechcoach.com if you have a question, if you have a topic you want me to cover. That's great. Go ahead. All the best shows come from your recommendations. Or if you want a consult, I do one-on-one consults too, so you can reach out here. Okay, let's get back into the fun stuff. Get back to my bullet list here. I want to make sure I don't forget anything because there's a lot of cool stuff. All right. So where would you use this type of animation? Where would you use the Lottie files type of thing? Presentations are a great thing. We've all had to sit through the presentations. We've all been there. Either we've been giving it, we've been having to sit through it. And it's hard. It's hard to make those not put people to sleep. But adding in these little pieces to your presentation can really breathe new life into things. You can make things more interactive. You can do, you can control people's focus a little bit better, right? If you really want to highlight something on the screen, you can just do a little simple thing, like a little confetti thing that goes off in the corner. It doesn't have to be a big, MGM production. It's those little touches that really can tap into bringing people's attention back to what it is you're talking about. So presentations are a big win. Social media, of course, you see it all over social media. It makes your stories, your posts pop. It grabs attention. It just brings a little bit more focus to what you're doing. It's a great way to stop people from just scrolling by, all that kind of good stuff. So that's definitely there. There are a lot of built-in options in all the different social media platforms, but this is a way for you to create something that's custom, that doesn't scream platform A versus platform B, and lets you get your message across the way that you want to in your tool. So it's a big win. Websites, blog posts, that type of thing, huge, right? Again, it's all about catching people's attention, making it interesting, and it can also help to communicate your message, right? If you marry the right animation to the right images, you can tell a story that way too. And so it's a great way to keep your visitors on the page, make them dig a little deeper, all that kind of stuff. Also great for advertisements, banners, that type of thing. Again, anything you're trying to draw attention to, used sparingly, right? Used with discretion, it can be a great way to go. And one more thing, right? Because we are here doing video, you can also use them in your videos. So depending, you can do actually, because we are focusing on Canva and Lottie files here, you could use it in the video tools in Canva. If you have third-party editing tools, a lot of those now are working with Lottie files. So, it's worth taking a look at that. But like I said, for this discussion, we're going to focus on Lottie files with Canva. Alrighty. So now that I've got this all set up, so for both Canva and for Lottie files, I highly recommend creating an account. It can be a free account. You are totally fine with the free account, but by having the account, you can make the connection between the two. You can save your work, all that kind of good stuff. So I recommend doing that. And then, well, let me just real quick, let's just go a little bit deeper into the Lottie file so you can get a feel, because it can be hard if you've not ever seen these before to kind of picture it. So let's just take a quick look at the types of things you can get out of Lottie files. So they've got a nice little example here, but we can just come up here and we can search, and let's search for happy. Right? Because most of the time we're trying to communicate happy. It depends though. Okay. Now I'm already logged into one of my accounts. So here we go. We've got, confetti and smiles and a bird tweeting, but you see, like, there's different, let me make this go away so you can see more. There's different tones. There's different things being communicated, right? So the difference between like the happy party box and this one here that has a bit of a more corporate feel to it. So you can dial in and you can get exactly the look, the message, the tone that you're looking for. But there's a lot of different things here. You can also get more specific, right? So I just started with a generic happy, but let's say we want happy dogs, right? Because that's what our message is, or we just like happy dogs. Why did that not work? It worked last night. There we go. So here we go. So here we've got ones, it's taken that happy concept and it's drilled it down and it's giving you different combinations, all that kind of good stuff here, right? There's a lot of happy little dogs here, but you're still getting different tones, right? You've got sort of a comic feel to it. You've got sort of a more professional business feel to it. So again, depending on the message that you're trying to get across, not sure what this, I'm not sure how that tags into dogs, but okay. So you can get a lot of different things. You can dial this in even more as you're doing your searches. And then the other thing to look at here is you can see everything, or you can just see free or premium, which are paid. So if you see the word premium under it, that means that that's one that's part of the paid program. And if it's not there, then that's a free one. So you can adjust the style. So you just want like outlines, you want emojis, you want illustrations. You can, look for all the different combinations. You can filter it by popular, newest, oldest, that type of thing. So you have a lot of control. You can dial this in however you want. I, of course, was distracted by the cute little corgi puppy. So let's dial in a little bit more on that. The corgi's adorable. So here you're getting a detailed view of it. You can see what's going on here. You can choose whether you want the looping to be on, so it just keeps playing over and over again. Or if you want, you can turn that off and it'll play once and then it'll stop. So again, your choices. You can adjust the playback speed. Here, let's go ahead. We're going to turn the looping back on. Okay, we'll hit play. So this is the current speed, but let's say maybe we wanted to go faster. Right, so you could do that, or you can bring it back. You can go full screen. You can adjust the animation details, or you can check the animation details, sorry. If you decided, oh, you know, I like this, but I wanted to have a background, you can choose a background color. Or you can change your mind and say, no, I don't want the background. You can edit the animation. So I'm not going to get into too much detail here, but they give you 2 different tools, and they're free in Creator. And this would let you do things like, you know, maybe adjust an ear or, you know, change eye color or something like that. But you can also come in here and adjust the color palette as a whole. So you can come in here and say, okay, well, that's cute, but let's see what it looks like this. Or maybe this is closer to my brand colors. So you have a lot of control here. Plus, you can also specify and build out your own palette. So you can add your own colors. I'm just going to leave it with the regular here. You can always go back and reset. You're playing around, you don't like what you've done, you can always go back and do that. Up here, you know, you can add it to your folders. Again, I'm already logged in, so I've already created my account. So I can save this if I want to come back to it later. I can tell the designer that I really like their work. And you can come in here and you can choose how to download it, save it to your workspace inside of Lottie files, all that kind of good stuff. You can also come down here and get a little description on, you know, check the tags, make sure that's in line with what you're looking for. You can choose to download it using the link at the top. Or you can choose one of these things here. So if you wanted it in a format that you could embed on your website, so on and so forth. If you wanted to test it on mobile, you can switch over to this tab and use your QR code to see what it's going to look like on your mobile devices. You can add comments to it. There's all kinds of integrations that are just work with Lottie files. So as you can see, lots of options, lots that you can do with it, and super simple. But previously, what we would have had to done was download it and then go into Canva and bring it in and use it that way. That is no longer the case. We are now able to go ahead and do all of the searching and bringing it into our Canva projects from inside Canva, which is a massive time saver. Every time you have to change applications, there's a little friction, right? Because you have to change gears, you have to wait for it to load, you got to go do the thing, then you get it to download. Like, there's all these extra steps. And anything that we can do to avoid the extra steps, streamline things, means that we get time back in our day. And that, let's face it, is priceless. So let's go ahead and see how you're going to use this inside of Canva. All right, one sec. There we go. So you can start from a blank slate if you want to. You could go into something that you've already worked on, or you can start off with a template. So let's go ahead and say that we want to do an Instagram post. Yes, I can spell. It's harder than you think to do all this at once. All right, so let's say I wanted to do an Instagram post. I want to do it square. It's already going to get the size for me, and it's going to show me a bunch of different options. So I can scroll through here and take a look at stuff, find something that kind of has the right feel for what I'm looking to do. Let's maybe we're going to do some kind of a post like this. And we're going to work in this one. Okay. So I don't want to, I'm doing this. That's another thing I should mention. Thank you for reminding me, tool. Whoops, wrong button. So I should mention that this is going to work with Canva in the browser, on mobile, and also in the desktop app. So however you prefer to work, whatever environment you're in the moment, you can go ahead and you can use this. It's a good thing to mention. All right, let's go back. Where we go? We're going to that one. All right, so we've got this. Let's, we put whatever our quote is in here. Let's say that's not our brand color, but we're going to go with something like this. And we're going to adjust that. But it's like, okay, so, I like this. Maybe I'm going to change this because anybody who's been around me for a while knows the whole, all uppercase is very, very hard for people to read and understand. Also, I'm a big fan of custom fonts, so let's pick a better font. All right, that's good. We'll do that. We'll make this a little bit bigger. Hey, Murphman, could you make a little less noise? That would be really helpful. Yep. That's my dog. All right, so, okay, now let's say I'm happy with this, okay? I like this. Maybe I'm going to adjust that a little bit. Maybe I'm going to adjust that a little bit. So you can do whatever you want. You know, I would recommend maybe putting your logo on here or your URL, but that would be a whole design thing, which we've got other videos on. You can go check out. But for the purposes of this, let's go ahead and say, okay, well, I like this, but I want a little more pop. I want a little bit more action going on here to grab people's attention. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the side, and I'm going to select apps, and I'm going to search for Lottie files. Now, I've already been playing in this, so this will come up pretty quick, but this is what it looks like. It's got the little logo, matches their website. Okay, so here we go. We've got our Lottie files options here. And it's automatically showing like featured things, so things that are popular at the moment. You can also look at just generally popular ones. And you can look at recent files that have been added to Lottie. It's taking a second to load because it's pulling new stuff. So you've got all these different options. But the other thing here, right, right now we've got all these different colors and all that, and maybe one of these works exactly the way you want to right out of the gate. But maybe you want to change things. Maybe you, again, want to do it in your color palette. So if you come in here and you change it, you see all of these icons now. Oh, that one didn't work. It's new, so they're probably still working out some odd bugs here. But in general, it goes in and it changes the color scheme to be what you've selected. And you can always go back to what you want. The other thing is workspaces. So once you've made a connection to your Lottie Files account, you'll see your existing projects, your collections, and you can go in and you can select things from that. Or you've also got some import options here, which is a discussion for another day. Most people aren't going to use this, but it is another option here. This is where you're going to spend most of your time. You're either going to be working in your workspaces or in Discovery, and most people are going to just stay in Discovery because you can come in here and you can do your search. So let's look for happy dog again. Spelling matters. All right, so now it's going over to Lottie and it's pulling the search results and it's basing it on the color palette that I've had right here. And you'll see we've got our little corgi again, and we've got the corgi with the wings and all that stuff going on. But just like, oh, look, okay, here's my corgi. I like my corgi. Again, I can turn on or off the looping depending on how I want to do it. I could either create a new palette or I could test other ones. But it just gives you that nice little happy corgi feel here, right? So let's see here. I guess we'll just stick with what we've got. And then, so all you have to do is say add to design. And then what it does is it takes a couple of seconds, but it's going to Lottie Files and it's pulling that particular animation into Canva and adding it to your library. So this is big because this is how you're going to be able to access it going forward. You won't have to grab it again. It just gave me a message saying that it's been uploaded to my library. And there we go. We've got our happy little corgi sitting there wagging his tail. So we could make him the speaker here, right? We could put him down here. But this is the thing I wanted to mention, right? So we had talked about being able to resize it. So I could make him very, very tiny, right? So let's say, maybe you wanted to use him on top of your quotes here to kind of help grab some attention. That totally works. You can also make him very, very big. And you'll notice that we're not getting any of that pixelation, all those little squares showing up, right? This is smooth. It's not adding any time. There's no lag to the animation. We can do this exactly how we want it at the size that we want it and make it good to go. Now tell me that you're not going to stop if you see this little cute corgi down in the corner as you're scrolling through something. You're certainly going to stop long enough to see what the text is. Absolutely. And that's really all there is to it. It is that simple. But let's say that you wanted to add a little something extra to it. So let's go ahead and, well, actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's mix the worlds, right? So let's go ahead and say, how about, you can mix this with elements from Canva if you wanted to. So you could go ahead and let's just pick something here. So like, let's say that you liked maybe, let's look for a different one. Okay, maybe you liked kind of like this fireworks one, or maybe this one here. So this piece came from Lottie files, but if you wanted to, you could drag in something from Canva. So just because you're working with Lottie files doesn't mean that you don't have full access to everything that is already in Canva. So you can take the best pieces of both worlds and mix them however you want. Or if you want to stick with, one or the other, you can obviously go that way too. But I just want to make that clear that you could do both, because I've had some questions previously when I've shown people this. It's like, oh, well, but what if? The what if is whatever you want to do, you can go ahead and do. All right, let's go back into this. So, you've got this. And of course, again, with them, you can, go in and add a little, you can adjust the size, all that kind of good stuff. So all the things that you can do inside of Canva, you can continue to do with the Canva elements, of course, but you can also do it with what you brought in from Lottie file. So if you wanted to crop this, you could do that. Cancel that. We could flip the little guy. I don't know if you'll really see. Yeah, he will. So again, however you want him to look, you can do it that way. You can do some of the animation controls on the whole file itself in here. It shows up in the layers, so you could adjust that as well. So again, you're not having to give anything up when you go to do this. All of the regular pieces are still there. So let's go back to the apps. Let's go back into Lottie files, and let's remove, let's say maybe this isn't working for us. Let's say, yeah, the Canva one is nice, but I'm looking for something a little bit different. So again, you can come over here and you can search, and you can get different options to look at, right? So we've got these, we can page through, we can see other ones, right? The little happy donut. But maybe, maybe this is the one that we want. We like this one, but maybe we're going to adjust the color palette again. Let's see. How about, yeah, that's pretty good. I like that one. And maybe for this one, we don't want it to animate constantly. We just wanted to do it on load. And then we're going to say add. And again, it'll take a second or two for it to download, because that's adding it into Canva, putting it in your library, getting the file ready to go. You'll get that message when it's ready, and then you're good. And again, you can resize it. So maybe you're going to do something like that. Maybe we'll set a balance here, right? So we'll have something happening here and something happening here. That's still a little big for my taste. I think I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. Actually, let's go up here. Again, you would take way more time. You would, well, not way more time. I shouldn't imply that time equals anything really. But you would play with it and get it the way you want it. I'm just going to throw that up there for now. And now we've got this whole thing ready to go. And again, if you noticed, isn't this better? Because that bothers me. But you've got your file here, and you've got all of your controls, just like we said before. So you have the ability to do what you want. You can copy it. You can duplicate them. If you want to, show the timing, you can do that. Or if you change your mind, you can just go ahead. You can delete it from using the keyboard delete button, or you can use this little trash can here, so you're good to go. Once you've got this the way you like it, you come over here to share, and you can do download, and it's going to suggest MP4 because that is a easy format to go ahead and share it, with the animations. But there are the other options here. So like if you did want to make it as a GIF, you could do that as long as you're not using sound in it. But you do have all of those options. And you can get the feel for how it's going to go. Right? So if you want to, like test drive it ahead of time, you'll be good to go that way. All right, let me come back here. All right, so that's it. I mean, it's really that simple. If you want to do more editing than you can currently do directly inside Canva, that's where you're going to go back into Lottie files, into your account, and go ahead and make, the changes and the adjustments to the particular file that you want to use. Save it to your workspace in Lottie files, and because we have that workspace option in Canva, you can just go ahead and drag it in that way. So you don't have to go through the extra steps of downloading and uploading. You can just let the two applications talk to each other and get the job done. All right, so just to summarize, this is a drag and drop, no coding, no hiring an animator, easy way, free way to add that extra punch to your materials. Like I said, any place that you can use an animation file, or a movie file inside of Canva, you can use the Lottie files in that. You can take it as is. You can customize it to whatever level you're comfortable with, and then it will be available inside of your Canva library so that you can use it again later. It is, again, something, think seasoning, right? You don't want to have 50,000 things dancing around. You might cause somebody a seizure, literally, but it also won't communicate your message because it will be so distracting. But used judiciously, I can't say that word tonight, used with thought, you can make these types of things really have a positive impact on your content, make it more engaging, more interesting to your audience, catch their eyes, and even clarify your message, right? If you're using the right images and automations, you can make that a part of whatever story you're telling or whatever you're explaining. So, like I said, presentation, social media, websites, blog posts, advertisements, your videos. There's so many different ways to use this, and you can do it all inside of Canva. There's a direct connection, so it makes it easy, and you're constantly going to get more options because the Lottie Files library is growing exponentially every single day. So win-win-win across the board. One more thing about Lottie. If you find that you like a particular designer inside of Lottie, you can actually connect with them. If you want to hire them to do something special for you, you can, then use that as part of your own collection. So, you can use what's out there. You can pay for the premium service to get even more options. And you can hire somebody to create Lottie files for you, add them into Lottie files, and then they will become available also in Canva. So wins across the board on this one. I really appreciate you coming and checking it out. If you want more information on this, feel free to reach out. You can reach out to me at yourtechcoach.com. If you want to know what's coming down the pike, if you want to be in the know, you can also join the mailing list, yourtechcoach.com/mailing list. So please don't hesitate to reach out. That said, for you folks out there who power through and watch these all the way to the end, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd like to give you a little extra. So what I want to do is remind you that in addition to what's out there, you can have somebody, create these files for you. You can edit these files. You can do a whole lot more. I also want to let you know that if you're interested, I am 100% on board to do a deeper dive into Lottie files itself, their editing tools and all that. If you want to get a little bit more out of it, you can totally never, ever go in and edit it. You can maybe go and change some colors and be done. And that is a perfectly wonderful way to use Lottie files. But if you'd like a little more, please go ahead and reach out. Let me know in the comments, reach out at the website, whatever works better for you. But let me know, because I am on board to do a deeper dive into Lottie so that you can understand how much you can get out of it. Or if you just have any questions about it. All right. Thank you all so much for coming and hanging out. I hope you're having a great week, and we will talk again soon. We're here every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. You're welcome to come join us in the chat. But if you're watching on replay, that's wonderful too. If you have any questions or comments, you can go ahead and throw it into the comments wherever you are watching. I do go through and read all of them. It just may take me a little bit of time because there's more of you than me. But I do go through them all. And like I said, you can also go ahead and reach out on the website. There's a contact form there. So if you have a question, if you have a topic you want me to cover, if you want a consult, you can do all of that right there. All right, everybody, have a good one. Bye.